It is time for a book review, and today I have the book How to Build a Human in 7 Evolutionary Steps, and it's written by Pamela S. Turner, art by John Gersh. Now, the book title seems to suggest that this is about building a Frankenstein's monster kind of a thing. Well, it's less about that, but it's more like studying the humanoid primates and the first of its kind, and how they have diverged and how they have converged, and then into the Homo sapiens that we know and are as of today. And so this book is such a easy to read book, and it's super informative. And that is really appreciated because prior to this book, I got this book from the LA Public Library. But prior to this book, I checked out Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time. I got the illustrated version, and man, there was no way I could finish reading that book in 3 weeks. But the thing is, it's less about like the book isn't that thick, right? But to completely but to have at least a little bit of a glimpse of an understanding of the material discovered in A Brief History of Time requires way more than 3 weeks, at least for me, because I'm not that smart, right? But this book is very easy to digest, and it doesn't like it's not because it's patronizing. It doesn't treat you like you're stupid, and it doesn't oversimplify things. It's just that Pamela S. Turner, she did a really great job at really making the important points concise and easy to understand. So this book is not just for sociology majors and the history majors. This book isn't for scholars. Well, of course, scholars can benefit from this book, but more importantly, this book is for everyone to enjoy and to learn more about the human condition. Why is learning about this so important? Well, suppose I got a dog, right? My dog, who is 13 years old now. 13 years ago, prior to having this dog, I never had a dog. So, my dog would get something called the zoomies, right? Dog owners would know. What zoomies is, the dog kind of like, there's something in their brain pops up, and then now they're in for like a big spurt of athletic uh, explosion. So the dog wants to play chase, and the like tail's going crazy, and you want to throw the ball, and the dog runs away all the way, and then gets the ball, and then wants to do it again and again, and then when the zoomies are done, dogs chill again, right? So at first, I didn't understand what was wrong with my dog because it seemed like this dog had like a button that would turn on and off. And why do I not know that? Because I'm ignorant, right? So in my expectations, I think dogs should be just constantly in the same kind of a mood. But it turns out it's not. So I'm thinking, is there something wrong with my dog? Or are dogs like this? So the biggest, the hardest part about dog ownership for me in the beginning was figuring that part out. Is my dog crazy? Or are all dogs like this? And learning more about dogs, and especially over time, this is also important for dog ownership as well. Um, Learning the difference between a puppy and an actual dog, right? So puppies have their own distinct, like behavioral quirks. Dogs have their own behavioral quirks, and elderly dogs now I'm getting to know they have their quirks too, right? So the more you understand this, object, right? The more you can see that when a certain behavior pops up, it's not a distinctive problem. It's not something to worry about, versus an actual aberration, an actual problem that is worth raising to the veterinarian and something like that, right? So similar thing happens with human beings. So um, man, I feel like I'm thinking about other people's opinions about me all the time. But the thing is, if you know this from evolutionary behavior, that's sort of a human trait. Everybody does that, and everybody does that without even many times without even recognizing that it's cognitively happening. Why? Because it's so deeply ingrained into the human condition as animals, right? We sometimes forget that we are animals, just like all the other animals out there. We forget that we descended from um, animals that had less cognitive abilities. And we forget that our cognitive abilities isn't something that just appeared out of thin air. It took a lot of time to develop that in this certain direction, right? So, as a life coach, and as for everyone like you, why this is so important to understand is the more you understand the general human behavior, the more you can understand yourself. And from that basis, what stronger quirks do I have, when compared with the general human condition? And this kind of knowledge is very important because it makes you have more awareness of what's an actual problem for me versus not. Also, if something seems to be a problem, how much of this is naturally occurring versus is there something I can do about it, right? So for example, like if I get an infection because I ate spoiled food, right? That is what tends to happen to people who are careless about what they eat. But the thing is, the ability to spontaneously grow cancer, that's embedded within me, right? Sometimes cancers and other like diseases that are related to genetics, they don't have anything to do with what you do with your life. It just happens, right? So having more awareness around, is this something that I have caused, or is this something that is caused by something that is innate within me? That saves you a lot of this peril inside of your head. That saves you a lot of stress from your head, because hey, oh, this is something that I caused, so if I remove the cause for it, then I can be okay. Oh, this is happening because I am it can happen to me based on my genetics as a human being and an animal. Okay, so in that case, there's no reason for me to suffer, because it's not like the world hates me. It's just like I grew arms and legs. It's as natural as that, right? So the more knowledge and the more awareness we have about the general human condition itself, outside of individual influences, the more accurate of an analysis we can get on our condition at the current moment. So if you are interested in learning more about your humanhood, I would highly recommend this book. Again, title is How to Build a Human, by Pamela S. Turner, art by John Gersh. And more importantly, support your local library. It's so great to check out books from your library because you have limited space in your room, right? There's a lot of books that are already printed in the world, right? Chances are the books that you read, you're not going to reread them for the eternity of time, right? Therefore, it's a very good idea, and it's a very economic idea to support your local library. Not only can you get a lot of books, they also have a lot of community resources. They also have a lot of events. They also have a lot of classes, and you get to meet a lot of cool people there who may have the same interests as you. So hey, really great reasons to check out your favorite public library and get some books checked out.